What was the hardest part of quitting your dream job? I had wanted to be a pilot since I was 9 years old. I used to sit in my backyard building model planes and watching jets fly overhead, imagining myself up there. By the time I graduated high school, I had already mapped out my entire career path. Flight school, cargo runs, then finally landing a spot with a major airline. It took me 8 years to get there. 8 years of studying, training, flying cargo at 3 a.m. through thunderstorms, living off instant noodles and energy drinks. But when I finally got that call from Delta telling me I was hired, I cried like a baby. I was living the dream. The job was everything I hoped it would be. Sure, the schedule was brutal sometimes, but I loved every second of it. The feeling of taking off never got old. I was making good money, traveling the world, and I had just proposed to my girlfriend Katie. Life was perfect. Then Katie started having these weird episodes. At first we thought it was just stress from her nursing job. She'd get dizzy spells or forget where she put her keys. I told her she was working too hard and needed to take a vacation. We both laughed it off. But the episodes got worse. One morning I found her on the bathroom floor, shaking uncontrollably. She didn't remember falling. The doctors ran every test imaginable. Blood work, MRIs, the whole 9 yards. For 3 weeks, we got nothing but shrugs and medical bills. I was on a 3-day route to Seattle when my phone rang at 2 a.m. It was Katie's mom, crying so hard I could barely understand her. Katie had collapsed at work and was rushed to the hospital. They found a tumor the size of a golf ball pressing against her brain. I begged my captain to let me off the plane at our next stop. He said federal regulations wouldn't allow it unless it was an immediate family member. Fiancé didn't count. I had to finish the entire route while my girlfriend was having emergency brain surgery without me. When I finally got home 2 days later, Katie was awake but different. She kept asking me who moved all the furniture around. Nothing had been moved. She couldn't remember our cat's name or where we kept the coffee mugs. The doctor said the surgery went well, but there could be permanent memory issues. I started requesting schedule changes to stay closer to home. My supervisor, Janet, was understanding at first. She approved a few requests, but after the third one, she pulled me aside and said I was setting a bad precedent for other pilots. She suggested Katie move in with her parents during treatment. That's when I knew I was stuck between two impossible choices. Katie's treatments got more intense. Some days she'd wake up and not recognize our apartment. Other days, she'd forget entire conversations we'd had the night before. The worst was when she looked at me one morning and asked why a stranger was in her bedroom. For 5 minutes, I was nobody to her. I was scheduled for a 6-day international route when Katie called me, sobbing. She had fallen down the stairs and hit her head. She was bleeding and couldn't remember how to call 911. I had to talk her through dialing the numbers from 35,000 feet over the Atlantic Ocean, listening to her panic and slur her words while I couldn't do anything to help. I landed in London and immediately called Janet. I told her I needed to go home right now. She said the earliest they could get me back was in 4 days, and if I abandoned my route, I'd face disciplinary action. That night, sitting alone in a hotel room in London while Katie was in the emergency room back home, I made my decision. I called Janet and quit over the phone. She was shocked. She tried to talk me out of it, saying I was throwing away a career that people would kill for. My co-pilot Mark called me later, saying I was insane for giving up 6-figure salary and my dream job. I just told them that Katie was the only dream that mattered anymore. I flew home the next day as a passenger for the first time in years. When I got to the hospital, Katie smiled when she saw me. She remembered my name. That made it all worth it. I became her full-time caregiver. I learned how to give injections, help her shower without making her feel embarrassed, and wake up every few hours to check if she was breathing okay. Some days were good, some were terrible, but I was there for all of them. Katie fought for 11 more months. When she passed, I was holding her hand. After the funeral, my old flying buddies kept asking when I'd reapply to airlines. I never did. Instead, I moved back to my hometown and got a job teaching flight lessons to kids at the local airport.